The engine is starting up. 3, 2, 1.
And we have liftoff! Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast with your host Owen, aka Popcorn, and Reason, aka Opinions. And today, what we're doing is Project Hail Mary. So, Owen, let's go with, what do you think of the movie? Like, in terms of, what was it about?
So, we have a very interesting movie of this scientist, Ryland Grace, going to space, finding out what is actually killing our sun. So we found out in this movie there's this line drawn from Venus to our sun that's these very small cells eating away at the sun. Now Ryland is on his way to figure out what this is precisely. How can we fix this? Because there's this one star, Tau Ceti E, that is not infected. So what's up with that? And the rest is history, which we'll uncover in this podcast. It was such a beautiful story. I enjoyed every minute of it. And fun fact, I'm not sure if this is giving away my answer of later, but I've already watched it 3 times. And as per preparation of this podcast, actually. So I enjoyed the movie through and through. What did you think about it? Opinions?
It was a really fantastic movie, like very well paced, and yeah, the storyline was quite good in terms of how it started with the characters developing up, and then from there, like also with he has a best friend called The Rock. Oh, well, Rocky. Sorry, Rocky.
Yeah.
When I saw it, it was starring a Rock. I was like, is Dwayne Johnson in this? No, it wasn't. Yeah. I overall really liked both of them. Their dynamic and everything was really good, and him finding a friend in outer space and then working towards a common cause, like really was like it transcended through the message of we have to work together even though we're not the same for a common goal. And
I mean,
yeah,
I think we can give our listeners or viewers, as of now, since this is our second viewing episode and video that we're posting. Thank you for joining on our second one, by the way. We have to give you guys some context. Rocky is by himself a Rocky alien. So he's a rock. And he's
and
alive.
No, it's not Dwayne Johnson.
It's not Dwayne Johnson, as mentioned, but really such a funny character. And yeah, as Reason said, such a great story, and traveling to figure out this astrophage problem, that was that cells, that things eating away at the sun. That was amazing. Sticking together, working together for a common goal, saving the universe, saving each like alien species as stars. So because towards Rocky, humans are aliens, but towards humans, Rocky is alien. So I love the point of working together to fix this common goal. I think it was chef's kiss.
Yeah, very, very good. It was brilliantly directed as well. So in doing that, let's move on to what did you think of the characters? Like in terms of Rocky as a character, as well as Grace. And is his name Grace or Gracie? I think because I think I heard.
Yeah, his name is Ryland, but he's Dr. Ryland Grace. But the doctors and all the like heads of the research project called him Grace, Dr. Grace. So I enjoyed. So where do you want me to start? Do you want me to start at Rocky or Grace? Grace, I guess.
Yeah, let's go with Grace.
So Grace is this high school teacher, and he seems like he's got this knack for teaching, but he's also this very, as named Dr. Grace, he is a thought leader within the sphere of water. He actually published a study about water and why water is not a requirement for evolution on Earth, long story.
But yes, in the Goldilocks thing, like there's a passage there that they reference, which is also a reference to the actual. It's a scientific thing. Don't quote me on this, but it's the Goldilocks is basically like where life can be sustained. It's like a terminology that they use. It's like where the right conditions are for life to occur.
Okay, and so that was his point, that water is basically not necessary for that, correct?
No. So the Goldilocks basically is saying in these right conditions, life will occur. So he's basically saying in the opposite way, like because the Goldilocks method would have water, he's saying basically you don't need water to sustain life. You don't need water for life in that essence.
Oh, okay. And with that point, I want to address what I think of Dr. Ryland Grace. He's such a piece of work, can I say? But
yes.
a funny piece of work. He called thought leader within that space of this whole water, no water story a waste of carbon.
Yes,
I love
because
that.
humans are made of carbon.
Yo,
Well, actually, everything
I
is made
thought-
of carbon.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, I'm no chemical man. I failed chemistry.
You know, it'd be
But-
great with this episode, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, Neil, we want you.
If you're out there,
Even Joe Rogan. I bet he
Yeah, fair
can.
enough.
He's got more knowledge than both of us together, with all the
Yeah.
people that would join his podcast. But so Dr. Ryland Grace was amazing in this whole story, and how he transitioned from this very scared person going to space and was only merely considered for his brain, just working on
Mhm.
the project, now actually going into space, because there was a issue where the lead scientists that were mission ready, that he died in an astrophage explosion. So these astrophage cells are very explosive and give away a lot of infrared light. Yeah, you'll see this when you watch the
When you
movie.
watch the
You
movie.
have to watch the movie. But so where he went from non-mission readiness to mission readiness by force. So, and this was
yeah,
very
that was
this
a weird plot twist.
that was a weird plot twist. And I guess we can also say, and I'm speaking very, very confused. Well, I'm speaking very disorderly, if I can say it. So I'm going a lot of back and forth. So apologies for that. But I mean, we learn in the story isn't really chronological. So we get the first scenes of where Dr. Ryland Grace wakes up from a medically induced coma on the ship. But later in the story, about the end of the movie, we see that Eva Strate, the head of the research project, put him in this medically induced coma. So we get this very confused storyline, but it works out beautifully, where Eva Strate knows that he is the person that will
Save humanity.
ultimately save humanity. Yes. And so it was funny to see how Ryland went from this unmission readiness to mission readiness by force, but his whole finding himself gathering
His
that
demeanor.
his demeanor, his gathering of, how can I say, oomph to get to that point to save humanity. He didn't fold under pressure. He looked like he was going to fold every time,
Yes.
but he didn't,
In the
because he
first
didn't
couple of
have
scenes, he
any
looked
other
like it.
choice. The first couple of scenes he did look like that, but he didn't have another choice. And that's where we introduce Rocky into the story. And I want to see what you have to say about Rocky and Grace's relationship and how they pull the best out of each other.
Okay. Well, in terms of Rocky, very enjoyable character for a rock. Still sad it wasn't Dwayne Johnson, but anyway, we move on from that. So anyway, like what's really great is Rocky is very curious, and like he even when he was throwing those cans that had messages in them, sort of thing. Like he needed help, and also you can see that he's very caring. Like throughout the movie, it's like you can see Grace like being very hesitant about Rocky when he first makes contact, but then after a while you can see the relationship build where they're just two dudes trying to make things work. And I've also noticed there wasn't really that many arguments that they've had, which was like what was nice is like you can see that friendship building. And Rocky is also very comical in terms of he doesn't understand human speech, so he's like trying and putting words like out there. Like when he said "fist my bum," like that was funny.
Yo,
It was hilarious. Yeah, and then you just get Gracie saying no, that's not what that means. Or like when he'll say something statement, or he'll say something question. Like those are those things that are hilarious and like comical.
Yeah, I relate to Rocky when he says, "Is this happening?" Question. I said this way before the movie, so I would say to Reeson, I would ask him a question, then I just literally say question mark. You remember?
Yes. You do that.
I still do that.
Yeah, it's such a fantastic thing to see. Like, even though like Rocky is not human, or like is considered an inanimate object sort of thing, he still can communicate. He still has those characteristics that reflect in humans, sort of thing. So it's very like you can understand and relate to him, even though he doesn't have a face, even though he can't really speak. But it's like even like Gracie made sure he could like develop a language to understand Rocky, and like them coming to like the consensus of, look, we need to help each other. And then like even towards the end where you could see that Rocky cared about Gracie, because he was like, oh, so wait, so you're gonna die? I can spare some fuel. It'll just take me 6 years later to get back home, but I'm willing to do that for you. Like that speaks volumes, especially for like
beautiful
an alien that you would think wouldn't know any, like wouldn't have like these human characteristics, to be like, look, it's not if one of us gets home, if it's both of us getting home, sort of thing.
And I want to address that like emotional intelligence or emotional beauty of Rocky as well. He mentioned, and there was a lot of Instagram videos about it that I saw as per scrolling through Instagram. Rocky, where Grace asked him, do you have a mate or a girlfriend if you want to, or wife if you want to? And he asked him how long were they together. He said like 183.9 years. And Grace was saying, that's a long time. But Rocky said, it's never enough. Oh, it's not enough. Oh, that was so beautiful.
Yeah, it was good.
I'm a very romanticizing person, so I found that beautiful.
Yeah, it was really well put together in terms of portraying human emotions into a character that doesn't have human features. Like I felt that was really, really great, and it was a real success on that part.
Yeah, I mean, all through his demeanor, Rocky's demeanor, you can see when he was happy. He only like later in the movie he started speaking via Grace's like
translating
vocabulary that he's given him, or like translation services that he's given him. But I mean, it was beautiful. I mean, Rocky you can hear when Rocky wasn't happy with some noises that he made, and it was so brilliantly done, and that relationship between him and Grace was amazing. I thought, now since I was in university when I had a roommate and everything, so the both of them had that precise elements of being roommates together, and that was so funny to see. Like, oh, you can't just come into my space and And
Mm.
that whole
I love how he was at the
vanning.
door, like just like hi. He was
Like,
at the door.
I come in.
It's so dirty. It's so dirty.
Oh, is this where trash goes? Yeah, that was
It was hilarious. And like what
So-
I really liked is especially like that humanity like Rocky had with in terms of saying like, okay, I watch you sleep because I watched my crewmates sleep and they don't wake up. Rocky can't fix that. Sort of thing. Like it was so cool to see that, like especially like now, like caring about something that's not your own, sort of thing.
Yeah, that was something that's. Yeah, I think you put it beautifully. That's something that's not your own, and that moment when you see Rocky caring for Grace just the same amount, even from the start when he said like, "I'll watch you sleep," and that last point of where Rocky gave up his life so that he can get Grace to the medical bay. That was a traumatic scene, and that was something I was starting to think Rocky might die in this movie, and I was watching it with my girlfriend, and I'm gonna give her an honorable mention. She said, "If this Rock's gonna die, I'm gonna cry," and that was I was laughing. It was the third time watching the movie, so I knew it was not gonna happen, but still, it was very funny.
Did
So-
you know that like I also felt like in that scene where where Rocky's like kind of dead sort of thing, like where he's not moving, and you get Gracie like still talking to him and stuff like that. I feel like that's also like kind of grief. Like he thinks Rocky's dead, but it's like his brain can't process that Rocky might be dead. So he's still talking to him and still like giving him hope of no, he's gonna come back. We're just gonna have a chat, this and that. And then afterwards, like when Rocky comes back, and then you see him there, it's like you see Gracie like hug him,
Yeah,
like, and like you can see like he's like, oh, you're back. That's fantastic, sort of thing. I want to know from you now. This is a controversial character. That it's Ava, right? That yeah. What did you think of her character?
thought she was very cold, but in her being cold and professional, all that jazz, I think she was very good. She started to warm up to Dr. Grace, and I thought they had a very corporate yet friendly relationship, which was good. In her own way, she was very inspiring to Grace and inspiring to the story because she needed to be professional. She needed to be the head of things. She can't go too friendly. She can't go too like she can't go too friendly because it could jeopardize the mission a little bit. But I think she was good for the role that she needed to fill. So I won't say there's anything that I would change there. I think it was perfect. And especially the moment when she got down to their level and had that karaoke. I didn't think she could sing that well. I was like, whoa. So that was also cool and gave Dr. Grace a little bit, and I'm sure the team also a little bit of, not like peace, but a little bit of more, we're in this together, guys. Let's work hard and might just see the end of this. So that's that type of feeling she portrayed in that moment. So, and I guess that's what you get when you're the head of a research project.
I felt with her character, it was very well portrayed. Like in terms of her being cold and very professional, like it was basically of, look, we have to do what we have to do. Like as the reference, Project Hail Mary, which is the reference or a saying people use, like where you're all out of options and this is the last chance that you have. It's, or as she even said, you Americans call it a long shot.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
So in that situation, it was like, as much as like, even if you looked at it, like she was wanting to do whatever was necessary to get this mission going, and because she knew the stakes that happened, like would happen, like the world would starve, people would be killing each other, and that, so it was like kind of a necessary evil in a way, to be like, you have to do this, like three people are going to be sacrificed for billions. And that's actually a moral question that I'd love to leave up to the audience on that one, in terms of, do you think sacrificing 3 people to save an immense amount of people is still justifiable, or what? Like it's a moral question, and like that's what pulls on your heartstrings. It's like, what do you do in that situation? And like, as you said, she warmed up to the crew and to Gracie and all that, and like you could see towards the end when she had to put him into a medically induced coma, it was like she was crying because it had to be done, but she like also
Did she really cry?
Yeah, she cried towards the like when she was in that office, like she was like, you shall be remembered as a hero. She even started when saying that, and like
Wow,
all of
I think
that.
I missed that.
Yeah, well, you watched it 3 times. How could you miss that?
I don't know. I missed it.
So yeah, anyway, so that all happened. Like you could see that emotion of, she has to get things done, but now she's developed a friendship with these people. Like you can see now that's pulling on her heartstrings, and like being like, is this the real right answer? But then she has to be cold and be like, this has to be done, sort of situation.
And that whole thing, but another, and I'm applauding this point, and when she like put him in the medically induced coma, she said, this might be me it might seem like me betraying you, but this is actually me believing in you, which adds to that moral question of, she knows there's literally nobody else as intuitive, as street smart as Dr. Grace. So even though he was the Nazi astronaut, he is the person to send up in space. And you're smart, you'll figure it out. And I'm very happy that she took the chance on Dr. Grace, because he is that street smart scientist. And literally, if he had his way in the movie, that he wouldn't want to do it, that he want to just go and like go back to his high school job and in 30 years die with the rest. I mean, nobody would have. I mean, the whole end process would have been 30 years, die with the rest. So she made that very mission critical choice, which I applaud her for.
I think
And
she
it-
pushed him, basically. I think it was like, it's like, look, you are scared, and like I feel like this whole thing is like an analogy to being like, you know, on the top of a cliff and then there's water below, but you're too afraid to take the jump, and then somebody pushes you, sort of thing. I think it was like that. Okay, from there, let's go on to, what do you think of the visuals of the movie?
Can I start to say the moment where they are in the Petrova line from Tau Ceti E, which is the planet they later called Adrian, the Petrova line, that red dots flying around him. Even Grace was having a moment. He was floating in this Petrova line, enjoying this like engulfment of visuals, these sparkling red dots. It was amazing. And I think this visuals is sort of on par to that of which was Inception. You know the Inception movie?
I'm sorry, I have not watched Inception.
So Inception is, if I'm correct, is that other space movie. I think, not sure if Christopher Nolan did. I might be wrong. This is the part where the edit comes in. But so that space feel and this space feel of Project Hail Mary was beautiful, and it was on par, and it really felt like he was in space. and having all that like spaceship parts, making everything feel like space. Beautiful. Even the CGI with Rocky's ship. Chef's kiss. How about yours? What do you think?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I loved the visuals, and especially like, it's not like a normal movie. Like, it's very like not crisp, which is great. Like, I love that old school feel. Like, this felt like it was shot in the like 90s / going into the 2000s, where everything isn't as crisp, like HD and stuff, or like in 4K. Like, it was a great it was a great visual to reflect the time that it was in, because I don't think this was based in the in like the 2000 or like past 2010. I don't think it was 2010 and upward. I feel like this was like way back then, because even if you look at Grace's glasses, like where do you see glasses like those in these times now? Like,
Yeah.
From all of that, you can see from the hair, from the clothes, from all of that, you can see that it's not based in current times. It's based way back then, and I felt like those visuals like really captured that very well. And also, if you look at it, like, I felt like they used a lot of old school
Music.
methods, the music, as well as if you looked at Rocky's ship, like from a distance, you would think that it's actually a miniature. You know, when that's a thing to old school movie design. When they didn't have CGI, they would use miniatures, and they would use camera techniques to portray it as being bigger and stuff like that. So it looked in those ways like a throwback to that. And that's what I really liked. Like, it emphasized that this is not now, this is back in the day, sort of thing. So yeah, that's what I really liked.
I think that's an interesting observation. I think the one counter argument that I might have for you is, so I'm a very set up into like being musical and have a lot of music knowledge and whatnot. But so the only counter argument that I have that might give it a more modern timestamp is when they used Harry Styles' song "Sign of the Times," and I think that song came out in like 2016 up from 2016. So perhaps the movie could be not that modern.
But what about Bullet?
26.
What about that song, that something Bullet? That's an old song.
Was it when he was trying to go back
When
to
it was no, it was the character. You know when Ava was singing the karaoke? Sorry, not character, karaoke, yeah. Where she was singing that.
Well, that's the Sign of the Times song. The
Is it?
bullets just
Really?
crying, it's the sign of the times. Yeah.
I felt like that song is so old.
Gotcha.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. I really need to get back on my music then. I need to get back on that.
Hey, you've got the drama, I've got the music.
Fair enough. So yeah, it was really great in terms of the visuals and that. I want to know from you.
Ooh, jinx.
Okay, so here's this. Go ahead, and we're adding an extra section onto this.
Yes.
What did you think of the acting in terms of Rocky's portrayal?
I think Rocky was very comic. He was very comical. He was very show and tell. And you would really feel what he's feeling just by the means of how he would look like. He would put up his arms. He would know it's like, just please don't hurt me. Or he would try and lean in. He would use his body to go upwards. I hope that's a good enough visual to try and give you the effect of what Rocky was doing in this movie. Perhaps just go watch the movie, then you'll see. But he was on 6 legs, so he's got significance like in articulation via his like movements, and that was very cool when he could use his like fingers to also dance around and show out his joy. And he copied a lot of what Grace did, which is also a way of trying to get into Grace's language. So getting to his level and speaking his level. So that's, I believe, how we started to see what Rocky was actually meaning via his actions.
Well, for me, I felt like it was a very good throwback as well to old acting techniques where where it's like more puppeteering, because when Rocky was trying to explain to Grace about like go back to your ship and stuff like that, he used those little puppets as communication, like to bridge the gap in the language barrier that they had. As well as you could tell when Rocky was happy or when he was sad, or just by his movements. Like, he doesn't have a face, but the other expressions that he used with his body language was good enough to portray how he was feeling, how he was like even without sound, you would know what he's thinking. Well, not thinking, like trying to convey to you. And that, yeah, and like that's very good, because like I also used to study drama in school, so I appreciated that acting style and that stylistic choice that they went with in this, because it's a lot of the time in modern day like theater as well as in movies, it's mostly verbal. Like now seeing where a character doesn't have a face and is still portraying these emotions, you can see that it's to such a good level that you can understand it. And if I'm not mistaken, the actual puppeteer, I think it is actually nominated for an award. Let's hope they win it.
Is it the puppeteer or the voice?
I don't know. I think it's the puppeteer, because remember, if it was the voice, that's not really as significant as the expressions that were used to create the emotion and stuff like that. It's like what this threw me back to was Wednesday.
Yes,
it's an
I
epic
know
series.
of Wednesday. I've not really watched the series actually.
Okay,
I like the movie, the Addams Family movie.
So the Thing, Dead Hand, like that sort of thing. Like you can know what he's thinking or what he's trying to portray by his body language, hand language, I guess, sort of thing.
Let's take hand language. Yes.
Yeah, so I felt like that was a very cool element, and that is hats off to the puppeteer that did that, because phenomenal work.
Absolutely. And if I can bridge to like Grace's character, I think Ryan Gosling, so the man, the myth, the legend, actually no myth, just the man and the legend, Ryan Gosling himself, his personality, I think he could have just stepped into Grace's role and just had fun. So because this role is perfect for who Ryan Gosling is, and who Grace is Ryan Gosling. So everything just worked out well for Dr. Grace, Ryan Gosling, in this movie, especially when our first look of the movie is him being in that medically induced coma, and when that razor is coming to his beard, he's like, ah! That was funny as hell, and I don't think there's anybody else that can ace that feel or that humor as Ryan Gosling can. So really, Dr. Grace himself, and even when I'm jumping so much, and this is what that movie does to me, I'm jumping everywhere. So where Grace was actually sad of him possibly not returning to home, and Rocky telling him, like, listen, I can give you some astrophage as fuel so you can go home. That crying of Ryan Gosling, that was chef's kiss again, because that almost his shortness of breath, that what is it called? Is it called like a whimpering? I'm not sure.
Whimpering?
This is where my English is really kicking me in the butt again. But when you're crying but you don't have any breath, that fact that Ryan Gosling could have done that in that movie, created that beautiful feel of hope. It was
Awesome.
amazing acting.
All right, let's go on to what worked and what didn't.
So, I think
Contentious one, eh? You watched the movie
perhaps
3
we-
times.
perhaps let's start about what worked, okay? The fact that this movie is called Project Hail Mary. It's an American football term, long shot, as Eva Strate said. I hope you enjoy the Strate, so because she is German. So, as I find that quite cool, the surname. So I studied I had German for 2 years in university. But, so the fact that Project Hail Mary is the title, and you can see there's a lot of football terms in the movie. I'm not sure if you realize that, but if you look in his spacesuit, there is this little metal bar going around his helmet, which kind of looks like those football helmets. Don't you think?
Football helmets, yes.
And so that's the first, not the first thing, but one of the first looks that we had of a football reference is where Dr. Grace needed to catch that capsule that was coming from Rocky's ship. So he had to catch it, and he even did that whole leaning into needing to catch that ball, because let's say if that quarterback throws that ball so that you can get to that final yard of the match, you bet you're going to run for your life to catch that thing. And that's exactly what Dr. Grace did, because I don't think he would have had it in himself to receive that package even slower than the first time.
I love the fact that when Rocky threw the first one, it just bounced off the ship, and then Grace was like, he thinks I'm an idiot. They think I'm an idiot.
Yeah. But I mean, let's just take that quick moment as well. He already assumed alien. They think I'm stupid.
Yeah,
So
it was
what
quite
worked
cool.
for you?
In terms of what worked for me, I felt the visuals worked to the just in terms of highlighting the time period and stuff like that, very well done. Also Rocky's acting in terms of the visual effects on that, amazing. Also the references towards football, also great in terms of, especially when Eva highlighted it's as you Americans call long shots. It's like it was so well placed and so well done. Like I know it's like a saying, but still it was like she is from another country and she's like giving a reference to an American. It was quite cool. So those things worked very well. Now, can we go on to what could have been better, what didn't work?
Now,
Can I
whilst
start?
we're introduced, okay, you can.
Yeah, okay. So with me, what I would say is what didn't work is this movie is 2 hours and 36 minutes. It could have been shorter. Like, I felt there was too much going back and forth between times. Like, I get it, it made sense in the story, but like there were certain moments that could have been like cut and made it a bit shorter, because 2 hours and 36 minutes is a long time to watch a movie for. And I felt like certain scenes were either too slow and weren't properly paced. Like, you only get into the action round about 2 hours in, or 1.5 hours into it. And that's a long time. That's 90 minutes. That's 90 to, I don't know what that is, or 120 minutes into it to get action in there. It's like, could have been thing. Also, I felt, and hear me out, this is a contentious one, Rocky surviving, imagine if he didn't, that would have been even like, that would have been something. Imagine that would have been like a Thanos moment in Infinity War where the bad guy wins, sort of thing. Like, because like I felt like it would have made his sacrifice a bit more. Look, I love Rocky, but I'm just saying, it would have made that moment incredibly more meaningful.
I guess for a guy with a gamer tag that starts with Rocky,
yes,
you ought to love him. So I have to disagree with you. I think Rocky needed to survive because at first Dr. Ryland Grace would have arrived there. I guess it could have been like cinematic and it could have been like hero-esque type of move, but I mean that would have just been sad, and we get those type of deaths in any other movie. So the fact that it worked out is what also works for me. So I'm respectfully disagreeing with you, but
it's fair. You can have an opinion. That's the whole point of it.
Well, I have you for opinions.
Yeah, so like, but I felt like it was wrapped up, but like it would have been more meaningful if Rocky were to have died. Like it would have been like, you know what? Now I have to do this, and like remember, not all stories have happy endings.
This one can have a happy
I know,
ending.
but I'm saying is, if it didn't, it would have been
we
even.
need happy endings in 2026.
But what I'm saying
Brilliant.
is, it would have had a deeper sacrifice, because it's like he sacrificed him and then he came back. I'm like, okay, so that was useless. That was nothing. It's like making a sacrifice and then you come back. It's like, okay, so you just participated.
I guess that's amazing that he came back, because then they can be friends again. Come on,
yes,
man.
but then like the character development, if he had died. I understand. You don't get my logic. It's okay.
Disagree.
It's fine. It's agree to disagree, and it disagree to disagree. It is what it is. All right. So from that, did you say your point of what you didn't like about it? Kind of zoned out when I was having my old spiel.
I don't think I did. No, I did not. I did not.
Didn't.
Wait, before we lose you. So yes, I think something. So whilst having watched this movie for 3 times, whatnot, but to me, there's little that went wrong. But I think what didn't work that much is I wanted to know, how did they introduce Dr. Grace into Rocky's homeworld? Because the whole movie ends with Grace being on Rocky's homeworld, and he's now he's a teacher for aliens, for rock aliens. So it's a very sweet point, but I want to know how he got there, and so perhaps we could have used the length of the movie to do that. But
like have a part 2. That would have been cool.
Part 2, or like a Project Hail Mary number 2 going around. But then that would have kind of made it unnecessary, because I'm sure if there was a second movie that humans were trying to then get Grace back, which is a very long shot, and that would have not really made sense. So
I have one thing to say to that. Why is Grace still living on that planet if the rock aliens also developed the technology as well as the fuel needed to get Grace back? If you think about it.
How is he surviving on that?
No. I'm saying is like, why is Grace still there when they could have sent him back on his way to his home?
That's a very good question. I guess they could have just said like, okay, thanks that you're here. Back home. There you go.
Bye.
there's the door. I guess they could have done that, but yeah, I guess you can call it poetic justice. You know the term? Poetic justice is kind of like,
But what's the justice?
yeah.
Poetic
that
justice
Grace
is like when you
found-
get when you get even with somebody, and then it's like in a way that's like poetic. It's like when you do something to somebody, and then something gets done to them in that exact manner.
Yes,
And
I
then
think
that's
I
poetic
used
justice.
the incorrect term, plot armor or something. You get what I mean, but I think it just had to work out that way. That Grace ended up on their planet, being a teacher, found meaning, having a good friend. Because I think Ava also said that he doesn't have anybody, so he found people amongst Rocky and his people. So
Fair enough.
could be that.
That was
So what did
confusing.
you
I'm not gonna
think?
lie.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah. So what did you think of the movie? Would you say it's regrettable? Would you say it's rewatchable?
I would say it is, and drum roll, insert drums. I would say it's a rewatchable movie, but like not all the time. Like you can watch it when it's
Thumbs up.
no, like I mean, you can watch it, but like don't watch it like 3 times, like in like a single weekend. Like it's something you can watch like every three months or so. Like, but it's a good movie. It is good. I just felt it's way too long. But I also feel like with 2.5-hour movies, they're way too long. I feel like the sweet spot in movies is like 1.5 hours to 1 hour and 45 minutes. That's how long I think a standard movie should be.
I agree with you. Good point. The only reason it's don't rewatch it. It's not regrettable at all. I don't regret watching it 3 times.
Wait.
So-
Can I just say something? I just did the maths
Yeah.
in my head. You watch this movie 3 times, so 2.5 hours. That is 7 hours and 30. 7 hours and 30. That's 7 hours and 48 minutes. I'm thick.
Put in it.
Yeah, put
in the real
maths over
number.
here.
Well, I don't regret.
That's a work day,
single
bro. That's a
second.
work day.
I don't watch it in work days.
No,
So
but I'm
I
just
watch it-
saying, it's like a work day.
Yeah, it is. So that's a lot of time. I guess I could have done dishes. I could have done anything else in that time.
You could have touched grass.
Could have touched grass.
You could have touched a rock.
Maybe not. Fist my bump.
No. We know you're not doing that.
No. No, it's definitely a rewatchable, but maybe I'll do it in a few weeks or months. Maybe I've done it too much. All right, guys, there you have it. This is the deep dive into Project Hail Mary. So, guys, thank you so much for joining. It's our second episode on having a video, especially here, and we have
so you
our
can see our
master.
mid faces.
Yeah, it's good to, and it's good for you to see our faces. Come on, it's good to see the person, trust the person, yada yada, that schmuck. But wherever Reeson is, he's our head of marketing. This is the head of editing. So
Yeah.
we love having you guys, and just as much as we love recording these episodes, we love editing and putting it out there as well. So thank you
And we
for
love
joining.
to hear about you guys, bro.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Engage in the comment section and stuff like that. We want to hear what you guys want in the next couple of episodes and stuff like that. And it's really fun, and we hope you guys enjoy the ride that we're on.
Amazing. True. All right. See you guys on the next one. Cheers.
Bye.